welcome back Representative Wheeler, representative from Peterborough, I believe.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Chairman Moffett, friends and colleagues on the House State and Federal Relations Committee. For the record, my name is Representative Jonah Wheeler. I represent the towns of Peterborough and Sharon. To answer your question, there was a commander on the ship named Commander Lewis from Colebrook, and I'm here today, Mr. Chairman, to lend my support for this very important legislation. The men, the service people who are on that boat, have not been heard by the United States government for 58 years. There was a false investigation that happened, patsy investigation that the federal government held to lie about what happened on that boat. The official story the American people were given that boat was attacked for 5 minutes by one torpedo and that an immediate apology was given. That could not be further from the truth. And there's people here who were on that boat who are going to testify to that, so I won't speak to that too much. But to me, Mr. Chairman, the state of New Hampshire has the opportunity here to stand strong in our transparent, open government that we take pride in, and open up the books and transparency and start the first genuine investigation into this issue that has occurred. Again, I'll let these men speak to it themselves, but what they went through on that boat is horrifying. As I was sitting back there listening to other people testify, I had to listen to them remember it. And they're remembering it right now as they sit here, as they have to come constantly to state after state, testifying, retelling their story, just to get heard by their government. These people served in one of the most dangerous times that this world has faced, maybe other than now. And here they are saying the government lied about what we went through, and we're going to say, well, we won't even study it. We have a study committee here before us. This isn't legislation with a stick. This isn't doing anything other than saying that we're going to study the issue. And however you might feel about the issue, I think you should look into it if you feel differently than angry that the government has lied about it. You should want a study committee because no answers have been given about this. So I'm 21 years old. I was far from alive in the 1967, but I'm here today because I'm a student of history. And I'm tired of the United States government lying to its people. And as a member of the state government of New Hampshire, who has sworn an oath to the United States Constitution, I feel it's my duty to speak up in favor of these men who served our nation and have been lied to by their leaders. So I don't really have anything other than that to say. And
Will you take any questions?
I will take some questions.
Are there any, Representative Mandelbaum?
But other people will speak more eloquently to this than I can.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So again, I'm not doubting the veracity of the claims by the survivors who are here in this room today. I thank you for your service and appreciate you stepping forward on this matter. I'm just trying to get a sense of the whole situation here. And Representative Wheeler, you said twice that there was a false investigation that the federal government held.
Yep.
Apart from the testimony of these survivors, what evidence do you have that it was a false investigation?
It's my opinion, and they lied about the investigation. There's plenty of evidence that if you go back and listen and watch the testimony about the investigation, you read up on it, that investigation was just as bad as the Warren Commission was.
Other questions? Representative Gagné.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Representative, for taking my question. If you allow me, I'd like to read a short excerpt and ask the witness for his opinion on what I have here.
We do need a question, so if this leads to a question, go ahead.
It would lead to this, hopefully. Okay, there was a commission set up by the government, by JAG, the Judge Advocate General. In June of 1967, I was assigned as a captain here, I was assigned as senior legal counsel for the Navy's Court of Inquiry into the brutal attack on USS Liberty, which had occurred on June 8th. The late Admiral Isaac Kidd, president of the court, and I were given only 1 week to gather evidence for the Navy's official investigation into the attack, despite the fact that we both had estimated that a proper court of inquiry into an attack of this magnitude would take at least 6 months to conduct. Now, I'm going to skip a whole bunch of stuff. It was our shared belief, based on the documentary evidence and testimony that we received firsthand, that the Israeli attack was planned and deliberate and could not possibly have been an accident. I continue, I'm skipping a whole bunch of stuff so I can get your comments. Admiral Kidd and I both felt it necessary to travel to Israel to interview the Israelis who took part in the attack. Admiral Kidd telephoned Admiral McCain to discuss making arrangements. Admiral McCain was he was the boss. Admiral Kidd later told me that Admiral McCain was adamant that we were not to travel to Israel or contact the Israelis concerning this matter. And I'm going to end here, I think. I know from personal conversations I had with Admiral Kidd that President Lyndon Johnson and Secretary of Defense Robert McNamara, the DOD, ordered him to conclude that the attack was a case of mistaken identity, despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary. Admiral Kidd told me after returning from Washington, D.C., that he had been ordered to sit down with 2 civilians from either the White House or the Defense Department and rewrite portions of the court hearing. Sorry about that. Okay. Yeah, the other way. I got one. Must be almost done. I'm sorry. I apologize for the delay
good.
here, but this I feel is important because I was a sailor.
And there is a question coming.
There is absolutely a question coming. Admiral Kidd also told me that he had been ordered to put the lid on everything having to do with the attack on USS Liberty. We were never to speak of it, and we were to caution everyone else involved that they could never speak of it again. What say you on this matter?
I say that you know best, as a sailor yourself, a member of the Navy, that is what happened. And there is a number of information out there, a lot of information about Lyndon Johnson's attitude towards this attack and how he did not care about those soldiers who were being bombarded. Doesn't matter who the country that was bombarding them. You're the commander-in-chief. You have soldiers being bombarded. Your ship is being sunk. It does not matter who is shooting at you. You take action. And he, instead of taking action, took action to help rewrite court hearings. He took action, the commission took action to rush them. As was stated, the admiral said that he had 1 week to gather what he said he needed 6 months to gather. That's what I mean when I say false investigation. You have people in power who have a vested interest in not telling the truth, who are out there trying to say, oh, we'll study the issue, and then producing a report such as this. We have before us an opportunity to genuinely study this issue, to compile that information in an official state government commissioned committee that we have charged with the power that we have as legislators. And I think Representative Gagné, you're absolutely correct. That's one of the many pieces of information that should be brought forward in a study committee like this.
Other questions? Seeing none, thank you, Representative Wheeler, a student of history. We can't have too many students of history, in my opinion.
No, we cannot.
As a history teacher.
We need more. We need more.
Okay.